What's up guys, Jaboosle here, back with a brand new video, and as the title says, Elden Ring could be coming to mobile. We're going to be looking at the article here in just a second, but before we do, as always, if you guys have not subscribed to the channel yet, then please make sure to do so. We're getting so close to that 24,000 subscribers. But anyway, yeah, apparently Elden Ring is coming to Android and iOS. This actually comes from an article, actually several articles now, as you guys can see here. Pretty much everyone is talking about it, but the article that we're going to be looking at in particular are the ones that actually broke the story. And essentially, they went on to say that Tencent apparently is working to adapt the critically acclaimed action role-playing console game Elden Ring into a mobile version. 3 people familiar with the matter said as it searches for a new hit to refresh its aging stock of games. That's going to be a really important part right there. The fact that they mention the whole Tencent's games are kind of aging and things like that, because as a lot of you guys will know, a lot of Tencent's games have not really wound up to be that all impressive in the last couple of years. Obviously, Apex Legends Mobile was one that they partnered with. That unfortunately shut down. They have another game, for example, that came out last year, Undawn, which hasn't really hit its stride and hasn't really found the same success in other games similar to it, like Life After. So that is obviously something that they are keeping in mind. But anyway, going back to the article, as we can see, it says the world's largest gaming company by revenue acquired the licensing rights for the game by From Software in 2022 and set up a team of a few dozen people to work on a prototype the same year that it bought a 16% stake in the Japanese game maker, the people said. But the progress has been slow, they added. Now going forward from that, it says, while Elden Ring was designed as a premium game with a set price tag, Tencent wants to make it a free-to-play game with in-app purchases, similar to the hit game Genshin Impact, developed by its Chinese rival MiHoYo, the people said. But the design of Elden Ring, which focuses on a complete experience after a one-time purchase, is at odds with Tencent's planned model. Tencent and From Software did not respond to requests for comment. The sources declined to be named as they were not permitted to speak to media. Tencent has previously encountered issues with adapting big console games for smartphones. It axed a project based on the popular Nier franchise in December over monetization concerns. Tencent has in the past year become more conservative in pursuing a game based on another company's franchise, as growth in the gaming market plateaus and hefty royalty fees can leave a game barely profitable. Beijing's opaque game approval system may also leave a finished game hanging for months, if not years, before it actually releases. Still, urgency for Tencent to find a new hit is growing, with its chairman saying that its gaming business was under threat. While Tencent's past hits, such as PUBG Mobile, continue to develop strong revenue, but more recent products have fallen short of expectations. I think that part right there is a really important part to keep in mind, because like we mentioned earlier, a lot of Tencent's newer games have not really popped off in a way that I think they wanted them to, especially when you compare it to some of their older games such as PUBG Mobile and Call of Duty Mobile. Those two games are some of the most popular shooters on Android and iOS of all time, but they are also 4 to 5 years old, and since then Tencent has not been able to replicate that success with any of their newer games. They also mentioned in the article the hefty royalty fee that they have to pay some of these developers or these franchises to actually work with them to make a mobile spin-off version of their game, and I imagine that that's probably one of the reasons why they're kind of hesitant on doing future projects like this, because as we all know, they had to team up with EA to make Apex Legends Mobile, and it was reported that the game was not that profitable to begin with. Who knows how much money Tencent actually made after they had to pay EA that royalty fee, and that's probably a big reason why they decided to just shut it down just 6-7 months into its release. Now when it comes to Elden Ring Mobile, I am a huge Elden Ring fan first and foremost. I played and beat the game already on my Steam Deck, and it was a fantastic experience. And so hearing this news that it's coming to mobile, it is kind of concerning a little bit. Normally, I think I would be happy if I heard about a PC or console game coming to Android and iOS. But the fact is just like the article mentioned, Elden Ring was designed as a premium game where you pay an upfront cost and then you get the entire game for that money, and everything can be unlocked and everything can be earned and stuff. And to hear that they're basically wanting to develop this as a free-to-play game specifically inspired by something like Genshin Impact, well, it just kind of seems a little bit concerning, because Genshin Impact is a gacha game, and in that game you have to actually spend primo gems, or just gems for short, to actually unlock characters, to get some of the best weapons and stuff like that, which is not really something that we see in Elden Ring on PC and console. Usually to get some of the best weapons or the best loot and armor and things like that, you have to beat a particularly hard boss or go into a particularly hard area and actually survive and find it and stuff like that. So it's kind of concerning that Genshin is going to be their sort of source of inspiration, because that kind of could mean some pretty big deviations from the original gameplay. You know, are they going to lock some of the best weapons and armors behind a gacha element, or are they going to be locked behind some type of paywall? Are you going to have to pay for a bundle, or are you going to have to pay for a battle pass or things like that? You know, in Genshin Impact as well, there are dungeons and things, but they do cost in-game currency to actually go ahead and grind. And when you run out of that in-game currency, you can't grind that dungeon anymore. So is that going to be something that they're going to want to do for Elden Ring Mobile? I mean, if you guys have ever played Elden Ring, it's a very, very difficult game. You could potentially die to a boss or to a certain dungeon like dozens and dozens of times before you actually beat it. So what happens if they do end up making a certain dungeon or a certain boss fight or a certain area locked behind some type of currency or energy system? You know, what's going to happen when you can't get past it and stuff? Are you just supposed to pay money to actually continue? Or, you know, it just brings up a lot of very concerning issues. And I don't know, it is kind of cool to see that maybe this is going to be a possibility in the future, that we are going to see an expanded Elden Ring universe on Android and iOS. A lot of people are going to be able to play this game for the first time and stuff. Obviously, that part is really, really cool. But the hardcore Elden Ring fan in me does question, you know, how are they going to make this into a fair but also free to play game that is completely different but still the same to the normal Elden Ring that I played on PC? I mean, hey, if they can do it, if they can actually make it, then obviously that's going to be great. Again, so many people are going to be able to play this game for the first time. It's such an amazing game, such an amazing set of characters, bosses, and lore and things like that. But again, it just kind of concerns me that, one, Tencent has not really been able to hit it out of the park when it comes to some of their newer releases in the last couple of years. And then at the same time, it's kind of like, how do you make this single player game into a free to play game and still have it not be pay to win, or still not have it be riddled with microtransactions for things that should be a part of the base game? It's also very important to note too, though, that this is possibly not going to actually end up getting released. Obviously, we have seen in the last couple of years, a lot of mobile games have been canceled, shut down in the middle of development, or just indefinitely delayed and stuff like that. That is a possibility, as they even mentioned in the article. You know, there are certain factors that you do have to consider when it comes to this game being made, such as China's kind of strict rules when it comes to releasing a game. And then on top of that as well, you also have the fact that apparently they were developing a game set in the Nier universe, but they actually went ahead and canceled that due to the fact that they could not get the monetization to work the way that they wanted it to. Because again, that's another franchise where it's normally a single player game where you pay an upfront cost and then you get all of the content and stuff available to you because of that. So who knows, maybe they just won't be able to make it work with Elden Ring either. We're gonna have to wait and see exactly what ends up happening, but at the end of the day, it looks like this game is going to be in development for Android and iOS. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, whether or not you guys think they will be able to make this game a pretty decent mobile game compared to what we have on PC and console, or if you guys think this is going to end up getting canceled. Very interested in hearing what you guys have to say about this. But with all of that being said, thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.
Subscribe, motherfucker.